How much do you love money? If you clicked on this video, you're like me, fascinated by how we evolved from bartering to Bitcoin. But did you know that throughout history, people have used all sorts of bizarre things as currency? In fact, some may surprise you, and the craziest thing, they actually worked. So join me as we explore a world where cows were negotiable instruments, cowrie shells were cool, and one day you might be able to pay your taxes in Pokemon cards. It's me. Welcome to my channel, where we explore the hidden connections that bind our world. Before diving into the craziness of currency, let's start with a simple question. What makes something valuable? Is it beauty, scarcity, or utility? Surprisingly, these factors often converge to create unusual items that have been accepted as money throughout history. For example, beads made from cowrie shells were used as currency in Africa and Asia for hundreds of years, including in ancient Egypt and the Roman Empire. Their rarity and durability made them ideal for trading. Similarly, the ducat, a gold coin issued by Italian maritime republics in the Middle Ages, became one of the most influential currencies in Europe due to its high gold content and intricate designs. The Victorians took it a step further with the sovereign, a British gold coin featuring Queen Victoria's profile that circulated worldwide during the 19th century. So it's clear that value doesn't always have to be tied to government-issued bills or even physical objects. Sometimes it's found in the most unexpected places. So what are some of the most bizarre things that have been used as money in history? Let's find out. We all know that bartering is a system of exchange where people directly trade goods and services for other goods and services. But imagine trying to buy a new laptop with 100 apples. Not only would it be awkward, but it's also inefficient. That's where money comes in. It is an intermediary that allows people to trade without having to find someone who wants exactly what you have to offer. But before money, people had to resort to using goats as currency. Goats. Why goats? Well, they were considered to be highly valuable animals in many cultures due to their ability to produce both meat and milk, but they also had to meet some criteria. In medieval England, for example, a goat had to pass a certain weight test and be free of any defects in order to be considered valid currency. The English word sterling for money actually originated from the Old English term stera, meaning strong or healthy. So if your goat was sick or scrawny, it wasn't worth much. Sounds ridiculous, right? But it's not the only example. In the Ottoman Empire, they used large marble balls as currency, while in China, paper money was backed by salt. And in pre-colonial Africa, cowrie shells were used as currency. These examples may seem strange to us now, but they show how people's ideas of value vary greatly depending on their culture and circumstances. But why did people eventually move away from bartering and adopt money? What are the advantages and disadvantages of using currency? It turns out that using something like a cowrie shell or small pebbles as a medium of exchange offered some major advantages. First, they were standardized, meaning that their value was relatively consistent compared to the unpredictable value of, say, 5 chickens and a broken teapot. Second, they were divisible, meaning that they could be easily broken down into smaller units for making change. Finally, they were durable, so they could withstand years of circulation. Of course, they weren't perfect. After all, carrying around wheelbarrows of cowrie shells would be quite impractical. But compared to the chaos of bartering, they were a huge improvement. During the 19th century, Western European nations began adopting gold and silver standards for their currencies. The gold standard was a system where a country's currency had a value directly linked to gold, meaning that paper money was backed by a specific amount of gold held in reserve by the government. The French franc, German mark, and British pound all adopted the gold standard, along with the US dollar in 1900. The US was late to the party, though, as most states initially preferred using the British pound. In 1873, Congress passed the Bland-Allison Act, which required the U.S. Treasury to purchase and coin at least 4 million ounces of silver each month, providing citizens with more options for exchanging their money. Despite opposition from pro-gold presidents like Teddy Roosevelt, the act marked a significant step towards establishing a bimetallic standard using both gold and silver. But you may be wondering why paper money even exists. I mean, if we have precious metals like gold and silver, why not just use those directly? Well, it turns out that paper money offers some unique advantages. It's lightweight, easy to transport, and can be produced in exact denominations. The idea of paper money first emerged in China around the 7th century AD, backed by gold or silver reserves. It spread to Europe in the 17th century, initially as a way for banks to loan money to customers. But by the 19th century, paper currency became widespread, especially after the French Revolution, which limited the use of precious metals. During World War I, the U.S. federal government printed emergency paper money, known as fractional currency, to address shortages of coins. And in 1913, the Federal Reserve Act officially established the Federal Reserve System, allowing for the issuance of paper currency backed by gold and silver reserves. The most interesting thing about money, though, is that it's ultimately just a representation of value. It's not an inherent property of any particular item, but rather a social construct agreed upon by members of a society. For example, we assign value to precious metals like gold and silver based on their rarity and usefulness. Meanwhile, paper currency is backed by the government's promise and trust. Cryptocurrency, on the other hand, is based on complex algorithms and cryptography, relying on the security and integrity of decentralized networks. So the key takeaway here is that the nature of money reflects the values and priorities of the society that uses it. As technology advances and societal priorities evolve, so too will the form and function of money. Let's turn our attention to something a little more futuristic: cryptocurrency. In the midst of this technological revolution, the question arises, is traditional money destined to become obsolete? Are cryptocurrencies, digital assets secured by cryptography, poised to take over as the primary form of exchange in the 21st century? Cryptocurrencies have certainly gained popularity in recent years, with Bitcoin, the first and largest cryptocurrency, being embraced by investors and businesses alike. The global market cap of cryptocurrencies has reached trillions of dollars, with thousands of different cryptos in circulation. One of the most famous alternative currencies is, of course, Dogecoin, named after the popular internet meme and founded by software engineers Billy Marcus and Jackson Palmer as a joke. However, it quickly gained a cult-like following and is now accepted as payment by some retailers. And let's not forget about NFTs, non-fungible tokens, a unique way of buying and selling digital assets such as artwork or collectibles. NFTs have exploded in popularity, with some selling for millions of dollars, although they remain controversial, with critics arguing that they are overvalued and environmentally unfriendly. Meanwhile, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, are being developed by central banks around the world. China has already launched a digital yuan, while other countries like the United States, European Union, India, and Australia are actively researching the possibility of implementing similar systems. CBDCs could offer several advantages, such as increased financial inclusion, reduced transaction costs, and improved efficiency. However, they also raise concerns about privacy, security, and the potential for government overreach. So the jury is still out on whether and how cryptocurrencies and digital currencies will shape the future of finance. In conclusion, the history of money reveals a fascinating evolution from bartering to precious metals to paper currency to cryptocurrencies. Each step reflects the changing needs and priorities of society, driven by advancements in technology and evolving social norms. While the future of money remains uncertain, one thing is clear: human ingenuity will continue to drive innovation in the financial world. So whether we're trading goats in medieval England or cryptocurrencies in Silicon Valley, the story of money is ultimately a story of human cooperation, trust, and the relentless pursuit of efficiency. Just goes to show you never know what we can accidentally achieve with just a little cooperation. So don't forget to subscribe for more accidental history.